pulse audio in the middle of everything and everything talking to pulse audio. Architecture that's very sound, but over the past few years it seems there's been a lack of consensus that that's the way that we should be going. Is there a growing consensus in the larger open source community that this is the direction things are going? And the upstreams of each of those pieces that need to be made to talk to pulse audio, are they on board with that?
Yes and no. The good news is that if you're not really on board, you can at least write a pulse backend for whatever. And then it's up to the distributions to really ship that configured by default. Any other questions? Thanks, Dan.
Hello. I am Jane.
And this is Dan.
And we are students at Aalborg University, and we are doing our master's thesis in system development, the process of system development, and we have been choosing to write about Ubuntu. First, we did a study about open source in general. We studied a lot of papers and so on, a lot of papers. And in March, we put our focus on Ubuntu, and we will be doing this until late July before we hand our project. Why are we here? You may wonder. We are here to see how well it is working. What are you doing here? Have you made a new release? Also, we're here to verify some of our findings. And we're here to get further input from you. So we try to talk to a lot of you, as many people as we can get to. And also, please come to us after the session, the rest of the week, and tell us if you think we're right, if you think we're wrong, if you think we're stupid. Just tell us. So we have made this case study about Ubuntu, and we did 19 interviews for this. We have interviewed 8 Canonical employees and 11 community members. In the end, this gave us 16 hours and 53 minutes of interviews. That was quite a lot of interviews, time I would say. Our main issues was around the cooperation and management between Canonical and the community for the Ubuntu project, and also the cooperation and management internally at Canonical, and the business model of Canonical. The way we'll do this is we will show you some quotations here from our interviews. And from that, and to use that also, we will, of course, to say, what is Canonical gaining from having a community to help making Ubuntu? Of course, they're getting free labor. I'm sure they like that too. They get a lot of input from the community, for instance, here at UDS. A lot of people here that are not Canonical. They get extra features for the distro. And they also get a lot of people who can tell other people about Ubuntu and how great it is. Install it on other people's computers. They get a local team, a lot of local teams who can hand out CDs, make install parties, so on, to get the name out there. If you look at what the community will gain from contributing to Ubuntu, you can say, first of all, they get a reputation. They get knowledge they can put on their resumes. And, of course, they get a distro that works. We also looked a bit about the relationship between Canonical and the community. And we see it a bit as they have some kind of codependency. Nobody would really be the same without the other. So, of course, none of them are trying to do anything on purpose in that relationship. And that means that Canonical, of course, will not try to violate any guidelines. They can avoid it somehow, and even if it might cost them some income. But of course, there have been some clashes between Canonical and the community. And like I was saying before, that they're not intentionally trying to do something to piss off the community. Is our understanding from these interviews. And it might just be more of miscommunication than that will say. Yeah. One back. Sorry. Yeah, and the last one that an employee here said that, well, if they really didn't like what we were doing, thinking we were doing something, a lot of things that they don't like, then they probably wouldn't stay with us.
Hello, I'm Lasse, and I'll talk something about the characteristics of Canonical and Ubuntu. As you all know, it's a globally distributed network, and this raises some problems and some overhead in terms of coordination. For example, scheduling meetings and calls can be really difficult across the world. As someone said, that you are sure to be that someone is going to be up in the middle of the night if you are doing a meeting with someone across the globe. This is a bit stressful for some people, and in terms of working from home, it can be difficult to know when to stop working and when you have to put a clock and just take a break. But at the other hand, this is a problem that you will see in other major companies which have applications all across the globe. So the way the employees and the volunteers at in the Ubuntu project are working from home gives some advantages that you can save money for the rent of office buildings, and you don't have to drive yourself out in the morning and get to work. You don't have any rush hour traffic, and the money you save you can use on social events like UDS or other events involving the local teams. This is some of the advantages, because there are some ways to deal with some of the problems. People are encouraged to go have hobbies, go meet other people and socialize as often as possible. And as I mentioned before, sometimes you just have to pull the plug and say, I'm out of here, take a break. And we kind of see this as a way to making this work, though some of you have really, really long working hours and works more than most people.
Hey, I'm Dan. I want to talk a little bit about one of the questions we asked all the people we interviewed is how they see the business model of Canonical, since there is this commercial enterprise behind this. Asking people who work voluntarily, we got answers similar to these. Since one of them is completely almost denying to talk about business, doesn't care about it. More typically, we got an answer like the first one, that it has to do with services. You somehow build a great part and make money selling services with that. So generally there's not much clear understanding of what exactly is the business model, how do you make money. But things like support, customizations are the things you mentioned the most. And a few mentioned also there are also these configuration tools like landscape and things like that. As people are talking to people who are employed by Canonical, they know a few more details about the business, but the people we talk to who are mostly development also are quite sort of speculative about what exactly is it that makes things tick. As you can see, there's answers somewhat similar at what the community members said. And again, for employees, it's very dependent on in which department they're working, whether or not they're involved with business, whether they're not working with OEMs and things like that. So they mentioned a couple more things that Canonical is working on that brings in some money, and we'll tell a bit more about exactly how it works. So to give us a little more detailed view. We kind of see it this way, that Canonical is investing in a lot of infrastructure and hiring great people to produce this product of high quality that a lot of people will find interesting, and they do things to build a good brand around Ubuntu, sort of a good common principle. And then they leverage this interest in the product from a lot of users worldwide and from hardware vendors and so on who are interested in Ubuntu to sell various contracts to them. And this is quite interesting because it's a little untraditional business. So the people in Ubuntu are not sort of aligned toward a common business vision, but much more aligned by the product that they're working on in general. What we see is the figure here with Canonical is in itself organized as a company where we have someone who's a manager, someone who can assign the tasks exactly what to do. And we have a community where everything is much more driven by people's own initiatives, and there isn't a formal hierarchy, but everyone has a reputation that sort of guides what they are, how people listen to them, how much influence they get. So there's a whole different set of rules there. And the interesting thing is that these two things flow together in Ubuntu. People from both places work together, and we have Mark somewhere in the middle of that. Yeah. So we really like you to come talk to us about this if you have any input, any comments, questions, because we want your opinion. So thank you very much for listening. Take a quick question. Sorry?
So, I'm over science, and I'm just wondering what aspect of your research is actually different from what they got actually similar to what that happened.
Yeah. We'll try to Yeah, the question was, what's the new in this research that we're conducting compared to our studies? We tried to get some more detailed understanding of a single company by doing a case study to see what are they doing, how they're practically solving problems, what are they doing that's actually making things work. So, yeah.
Yeah, come here, let's for questions.
Yeah.
Will your report be you're done in July? Well, so your report is done. Your final product. Will you release that for us?
Yeah, it will be available. We have sent you an email to everyone who get interviewed for Canonical as well, so it will be available. Yeah.
Speaking about the business model, imagine, for example, a car manufacturing company that makes cars, gives them away, and makes money by charging for service. So why does this business model work for Canonical and cannot work for probably most other conventional models?
So the question is, the other companies, could they work like this, or?
Yeah, this is a unique business model that Canonical uses to decide. We don't know, for example, there is a car company that makes cars, gives them away for free, and then charges usually for service and survives in the business world. Canonical can, other companies can. What is the why?
I'm not really sure about that. We're wondering that ourselves, so that's one of our motivations for this.
For example, with a car making company, there are some physical values with the materials that are used that you don't have with software. Once the software, the code is written, you can easily distribute the software, and then if people can fix the car themselves, then it's fine. But if you need your help, of course, you have the opportunity to make some profit in that way. But it is interesting how Canonical will make some money from technology.
Okay, next we're going to have Bill Filler and his team. They'll introduce themselves, and they're going to demo Moblin and Android on UNI.
Yeah.
This is all over the internet today. I don't know if you guys know this. Engadget / boiling point. It's all over the place.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Bill Filler. I'm an employee of Canonical. I work for the OEM services team. I'm going to start out with the Moblin portion of the talk here. And